What is up, my Bodyweight Warriors, and welcome back to another video and another follow along. Today though is slightly different with the current COVID-19. Everyone's in lockdown, everyone's in quarantine. I wanted to create a full follow along series that is at home, no equipment, but we're going to be looking at not just flexibility, we're going to be looking at strength and also some hypertrophy as well, focused around body weight training. There's a lot of routines currently out there being posted by every single fitness influencer, and to be honest with you, most of them are crap. They're just these kind of HIIT, all core, a bunch of weird exercises with water bottles, and like, it just stop, please, just stop. Today we're gonna be focusing on how you can make body weight training hard at home with minimal equipment to get the same sort of effective workout. Cool, rant over. The actual workout starts at this time in the video, but I'm going to quickly explain to you what equipment you're going to need and also how we're going to be doing things so you can make sure you get the most out of this session. I'm going to be posting a video every day for the next 7 days to create a week-long program for you to follow along and just repeat at home for the next 4, 6, 8 weeks, however long this whole thing takes to just blow over. Every day as one of these workouts comes out, they will also be added to my app Tribe, and this routine will be completely free for you to follow along on there if you prefer, or you have this follow along. Right, so the equipment you're going to need is essentially nothing. We don't really need much apart from 2 things. Number 1 is we need some sort of sliding surface for the feet. I'm gonna be using some socks and then this laminate flooring. That's gonna work fine. If you don't have this, if you have carpet, you can use a piece of plastic or furniture sliders. That will work great. You just need some ability to do some sliding leg movements. Number 2 is you need some way in which you can do a pulling exercise. A door frame pull-up bar is by far the best option. If you haven't got one, I highly recommend buying one and investing. It will make your at-home training just as effective as gym training, providing you have a door frame pull-up bar. If not, we can modify some things. We can do bodyweight rows on chairs, on tables, or I'm going to be using these base blocks, which is essentially the same as a table. It just makes more sense for me filming for you so that you can see. If you're confused about this, I will link to a video down below which explains how you can do rows or pull-ups without any equipment at home. Lastly, I would recommend potentially getting a resistance band. This way we can make some normal movements harder by making the resistance band make it harder. Full disclosure, I do sell these on my store and I will still be shipping out, can guarantee delivery to the UK, unsure about the rest of the world. But that's it in terms of equipment. So hopefully now you've got all of your equipment. Let's jump into a brief warm up before we jump into the full routine. We're gonna start by warming up the wrists. So for this one, we're just gonna go some wrist clock walks. I just want you to start placing some weight on your wrists with your hands in front of you. And then we can start rotating the hands by 90 degrees. We can work moving the fingers towards us, and then we can rotate all the way around so that the fingers face forward, and then also continue to internally rotate so that the fingers then face backwards. We're just going to repeat this a couple of times. Doesn't need to be specific. We just need to kind of move around, shift from side to side, just place some more weight on the hands, just so we get the wrists a little bit more warmed up. This routine is going to be a full body routine, so we're going to be covering everything that you need to cover in the body when it comes to those core training practices. So we're going to need to make sure everything is nice and warmed up. Hopefully the wrists are feeling a little bit better. We're just going to jump now into some push-ups. We're going to do 10 push-ups to warm up chest, delts, triceps, all of that good stuff. If a push-up, this should be an easy progression. So if the push-up is hard, do the push-up on the knees. If the push-up is pretty easy, we're just going to do 10 push-ups as normal. That's 10 push-ups done. Shouldn't be at all hard. We're just getting some blood moving, getting some blood flowing, warming things up to start with. Next, we're just going to warm up a little bit of the back and some shoulder extension. We're going to go into a seated position. We're going to do a tabletop extension, so hands placed behind with the fingers facing away. We're just going to lift the chest up, lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes to the top, and then come back down. We're just going to do 5 of these just to open the shoulders up, and warm up a little bit of the muscles on the back as well. Nice little pause at the top position, just squeezing the glutes, getting those firing as well. Last one. And we're just going to finish up with 10 bodyweight squats. As I said at the beginning of this video, this routine is going to be hard. That is the point of this routine. A lot of the routines out there at the moment that I keep seeing people post are just HIIT easy exercises. They're not effective. So we're going to be talking about, as we go through this video, how we make exercises hard. And we're going to use the first round as a warm-up round, as a way of understanding how we need to make these exercises harder to make sure that we get the most out of it. So a couple more bodyweight squats. Right, that should be us kind of warmed up, clear blood flow going, enough to get going. Right, so the first part of this workout is 3 exercises. We're going to be performing them with rest between, and then we're going to take a 90-second break after we perform them. This is a strength training routine. This is not about a HIIT training routine. We need some rest to make sure we can perform the exercises properly. One thing that's important is to make this routine hard. We're going to be doing basically push-ups, hamstring curls, and then a reverse plank extension. I'm going to talk you through the progressions that you can use to make this harder as we get into it. So for the push-up, if a normal push-up is hard, we can do a normal push-up as the lowering portion. So we lower down in a normal push-up, then place the knees on the ground, and then lift up with the knees, so it becomes easier on the way up. Back to the push-up position and repeat. If the push-up is already easy, we're just going to perform a lean forward push-up. So normal push-up, hands are below shoulders. Here we're just going to lean forward so that our shoulders are in front of the hands. We're going to keep that lean and press back up. The more you lean forward, the infinitely harder this becomes. And then the last option is to add a band to that. So once we lean so far forward, it becomes uncomfortable on the wrists. We can then add a band, and that band is going to make it harder in that top easiest position. So if you have one, we're going to use the first round to figure out how to make this hard. We're going to do the first exercise, 6 to 8 repetitions. Most important thing, 4-second negative portion. 6 to 8 reps, make it hard. Use this first round as a bit of one to figure out. So find your progression. I'm just going to do lean forward push-ups. So we're going to do 6 to 8 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. Make sure you keep that 4 count down. Cool, that's 6 for me. 6 to 8 is fine. I don't want to kill myself in the first round. I want to make sure I can last and still talk to you guys throughout this workout. I'm going to take 45 seconds rest now before we jump into the next exercise. And the next exercise is a lying hamstring curl. So this one you're going to need your slippery surface. For here, socks and laminate is fine. Lie down. The easiest variation is the negative only. So we lift the hips up. We let the feet slide out, down all the way down to the bottom, keeping the hips up. Hips then relax, slide the feet in, repeat. If that is easy, we'll just do the full hamstring curl. So again, 4 seconds down, keeping the hips off, we pull back up. If that is too easy, we do single leg down. Again, keeping that 4 seconds, both legs help back up. So if you're doing single leg, it's 6 to 8 in total. So 3 to 4 per side. For everyone else, it's 6 to 8 reps. All right, let's go. 2, 3, and 4, and back. Remember to keep that 4 count down. So that's my 6 reps done. As I said, 6 to 8. I'm not personally pushing myself in this round. I know what's going to be hard for me. I'm doing that single leg version. If the one you just did was too easy, you need to make it harder in the next round. So we're going to take our 45 seconds of rest. We've got about 30 left. In the next exercise, we're going to be doing a reverse plank extension. So the easiest progression that we do is the same as the warm up. So it's that tabletop lift in this position. If that is too easy, we do it in a straight body position. Should feel this one working the traps, but also the triceps in the arms. We're gonna do 10 to 12 reps in this one, and we're gonna pause for 2 seconds in that top position. Right, 5 more seconds and we'll jump into it. Remember, 10 to 12 reps, pause for 2 seconds in that top position. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips at the top, come back down. I'm on 10 now. Remember that 2 second pause at the top. You should feel those hamstrings, those glutes working, as well as the triceps and the back working. That is the first round done. We're now going to take 90 seconds rest. And again, reflect on what you've just done. Was the first exercise hard enough? Do you need to push yourself? If so, you know how to do that. You lean further forward more, you're gonna put more emphasis on that negative, or you're gonna use a band. Same with that. Same with the hamstring curls as well. We're gonna do these 3 exercises. I'm just gonna repeat them 3 times in this video, but I would highly recommend doing 4 or even 5 times for this routine, and the same with the second grouping of 3 exercises. So if you do want to do that, you just pause and then repeat as many more rounds as you want to. Oh, do you know how hard this is? I realized when I did the handstand video, talking whilst doing an actual training session makes recovery that much harder. So we've taken a minute of rest now. Just take full rest, sit down, scroll through Instagram on your phone, whatever it is. We need to be able to make sure we can perform our next sets at a high level. Another 20 seconds or so, and then we're going to jump back in. Again, that same push-up position. As we get to the end of these sets, so if it's 3 or 4 or 5, that kind of final set, you should be pushing failure on those last reps. We've got another 5 seconds, and we're going to jump back into this routine. So I'm going to do lean forward push-ups again. Remember, 4 seconds down. Right, remember, make it hard. Make those 4 seconds count down. You want to be rushing through these reps. It's going to make life very, very different, and the training effect very, very different. 45 seconds rest, and then we go into those hamstring curls. So make sure you have the correct progression selected for you. We've got another sort of 20 seconds of rest. It's important you take this time of rest to make sure that when we actually do the set, we can push ourselves. Another 5 seconds. So, right, remember 4 seconds down, and then nice and quick back up. And we're going to rest for 45 seconds, and then we can perform that final reverse plank extension lift. About 30 more seconds of rest. Also, this is like a general full body workout, so it's gonna be good for a large majority of people. If mass gain is more your focus, I would potentially at the end of this workout add just a couple of sets of some isolated tricep or chest work, just to really emphasize those areas. 5 more seconds, and then we'll jump into it. Remember, if last time was too easy, make sure it is hard for you this time. This one, big focus on squeezing the glutes, pushing the hips up, lifting the chest high. Don't forget that 2-second pause. 10 to 12 on these ones. Almost on 10. And that is the second round done. Got one more left. Remember that 90 seconds of rest. Grab yourself a glass of water, grab yourself a drink if you need to. Otherwise, chill out, scroll through Instagram. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button, support the channel, support that YouTube algorithm. If you have any questions, if you want to let me know about this routine, how you did with it, are you going to use it, are you going to recommend it to friends, anything you don't like, leave a comment down below. And as I said, if you want any more details, there'll be like a full post, full explanation in the description down below, as well as this follow along routine. Another 45, 50 seconds of rest. Remember, this should be hard. If it's not hard, if you're not approaching that point of failure on those last reps, you need to make it hard. All right, so we got another 10 seconds or so, and then we're going to kick back off, and that is the third round of this first portion. I'm going to take another 90 seconds rest, and I'm going to introduce to you the second part of this routine. But otherwise, let's go back to those push-ups. 6 to 8 reps, 4 seconds down. Let's make it hard. Cool. Should feel the chest firing, especially it will be heavier than a normal push-up on the anterior delts. Also a little bit of that tricep working. So 45 seconds rest, and then we're going to jump into those hamstring curls. You can also use that band in these hamstring curls as well. You can lay it over your lap, so it's going to put more pressure, pressing the hips down. There's loads of ways that you can modify bodyweight training to make things hard. Another 5 seconds or so. Remember, 4 seconds down, nice and controlled. 6 to 8 total reps. That is the last set of those hamstring curls. Another 45 seconds rest. And then we're going to jump into the final set of these reverse planks. Remember, after this set, if you want to do 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 sets, pause the video, do those sets, get a timer out, come back to it when you finished off. Kind of a 25 seconds rest. And remember, squeeze the glutes, push the hips up, lift the chest. Right, 90 seconds more rest. That's those first 3 exercises done. The second group of 3 exercises, we're going to be doing that pulling movement. So if you have a chin-up bar, you're going to want to make sure that one's set up. We're going to start that one. If not, get your table, get your chairs, get your ability to do bodyweight rows. Again, you're going to need to be able to perform 4 to 8 reps. If you're doing chin-ups, it's fair to go lower than that because we're doing that nice slow 4-second down tempo. If you can't do 4 chin-ups at that tempo, then I would suggest doing this next one with bodyweight rows instead. So I'm going to set up mine now. This is what I'm going to be using. Simply that it just makes this exercise easy to film. We're then going to be doing a lunge and an ab exercise. So if the bodyweight row itself, if it's too hard, the easiest one we can do is with our legs bent. This gives a little bit more leverage. If this is too easy, we can go to legs straight. If that is too easy, we can elevate the legs on an object. And if that is still too easy, then I would just try and do some chin-ups of some degree. Or if you really want to, we can do some front lever rows. I'm just going to be doing normal bodyweight rows for this one. We're going to take another 30 seconds or so of rest. 4 to 8 repetitions if you're doing the chin-ups, 6 to 8 if you're doing rows. Remember, 1 up, 4 down. Make this hard. Another 10 seconds and then we'll jump into the first round of the second part. One, 2. When you're at the top, really drive those elbows behind you. Try to lift the chest up. As that first set of 6 to 8 done, I'm going to take 45 seconds rest. Next, we're going to be performing a quad variation. So we're going to be working on a single leg squat. We're going to be doing a shrimp squat. The easiest variation is we're going to try and lower down as much as we can without using the back leg. As we feel we need it, lower down onto the knees and then lean forward, use the toes of the back leg to help us up. If that's too easy, I'm going to keep the toes off the ground so we lower down on just the one leg and then press back up. If that is still too easy, get yourself an elevation, a step, and do it as a deficit. But for most people, the first 2 progressions will be plenty. Really focus on loading up the quad. If you're struggling with ankle flexibility, place something under the heel on this exercise. It will make it that much easier. Right, 6 to 8 on each leg for this one. I'm just going to use these in front of me just as a little bit of assistance. Remember, 4 seconds down, back up. Might have to use, in this personal example, I can make things hard for the first 4, and use a bit of assistance on the last couple where it gets a little bit harder. Okay, swap sides. This tempo is really going to ensure that the quality stays high for this exercise. My 6 on each side. Next, we're going to finish up. We're just going to do a core exercise. We're going to do a lying leg raise, but we're going to make sure that we make this one challenging. So when we start the movement, we want to place our hands underneath our lower back, and then from here, we're going to press down into the lower back. If we notice at any point during this movement down that our lower back lifts off and we don't feel that pressure on our back, we know we've made it too hard for ourselves. So the progressions are knees tucked, touch the heels down, lift them back up. Then we go slightly more extended, touch the heels down, lift them back up, and eventually we have straight. But we need to make sure we keep that pressure on the lower back the entire time. We're gonna do 8 to 12 repetitions. We're gonna lower down in 3 seconds, pause for 1 second, and then raise back up. 5 more seconds rest, and then we go. So choose the progression that's right for you. 3 seconds down, keep that pressure, and back up. 8 to 12. 2, 3. Just 8 to 12 repetitions. Make sure they're hard. We're going to take 90 seconds of rest, and then we're going to jump back into those 3 exercises again. So I'm just going to set my rows back up here. Remember to take note, if it wasn't hard the first time, you need to make it harder this time. You need to do, make that body position longer, elevate the legs if you need to on the row. For the squat, use a deficit, place more emphasis on that front leg. A pistol squat is also a great option here as well, using some assistance if you need to take away that balance and focus on the actual rep and making it hard. And then obviously the leg raise at the end. We've got another 50 seconds of rest here. 6 to 8 reps per side, 8 to 12 repetitions, 2 more rounds, and then we're done. Unless you want to do those additional 4 and 5 rounds, if you're bored, feel free. Another 20 or so seconds, and we're gonna finish up. The rest of the routines that will be in this workout program, this series the next week, will all be different, by the way. We're gonna be doing 3 strength exercises, 3 strength routines, and then we're gonna do 3 flexibility routines on your rest days. Right, enough of that. Let's jump into round number 2 of these bodyweight rows. Remember that 4 seconds down, lift the chest up, drive the elbows back, nice and slow down. So first set done. Got those 45 seconds rest. Get ready for the shrimp squats. Or as I said, doing the pistol squats. Again, if you need that extra range of motion, elevate that heel if you need to. 6 to 8 per side at 4 seconds down. This is what we need to make things harder. You don't need low rest to make things hard. That's just fatigue. We need to actually make the exercise hard. And that is the key to making progress with training in general, but also especially if you're at home. Let's jump into this set. Much harder on the second set. Swap legs, make sure you're doing those 6 to 8 per side. If you notice one leg is weaker than the other, make sure you start on that leg. All right, moved out of the way. And finish up that final set with the lying leg curl we got. Remember the progression you're going to be using. 20 seconds or so. This one was looking for that lower abdominal to be doing the work. We don't necessarily need to be feeling it higher up in the abdominals. It's going to be right around that hip line. Another 10 seconds, and then we can jump into it. And let's go, 8 to 12 reps. 3 seconds down, nice and controlled, keep that hip connection, and up. That is those set of 8 to 10. One more 90-second rest. Grab a glass of water, check Instagram, and then we enter the final round. If you're doing the chin-ups and you do find them a little bit hard, you can always try doing as many as you can doing as reps. Say do 2 or 3, and then the final 3, 4, 5, 6 reps, you can do just as a jump up and then just the negative only for that 4 or 5 seconds. Or if you really want to, take a 10 to 15 second rest between a rep and try to do 2 extra reps with that rest pause. So do a rep, rest 10 seconds, do another rep at the end after you reach failure. Another 30 seconds here, final round. And that is it. Nice, sweet, short, but a very effective session if you make it hard. Right, last round, 6 to 8. Let's go. And we're driving those elbows up at the top. "45 seconds rest." Let's move these out of the way. I think I'm gonna have to make this one slightly easier. Getting a little bit fatigued on these last couple of reps, and the legs aren't holding up because, you know, we do bodyweight training, we wear tracksuit bottoms for a reason. Another 10 seconds. Remember, start on that weaker side if you have one, or if you don't, start on a different side to the one that you did last time. All right, 5 seconds, and we go again. 2. 6. 45 seconds rest again. And then the last set of those leg raises. Another 15 seconds rest or so. All right, 10 more seconds. Last set, last round. Let's make it worth it, make it hard. 8 to 12 reps. Keep that contact with those hands. And that is the session. A nice simple workout, but it covers all the main movement patterns. It's going to help you remain strong whilst not having access to potentially the best fitness equipment. As I said, modify this as you need. You need to make it hard for you for every single set. Making it hard is the important bit, not doing less rest so it becomes hard. Make the exercise hard. If you want some of that mass gain effect at the end of the session, feel free to add in some bicep curls with, say, a resistance band, some tricep push down, some isolation work, just to focus on that mass gain element. Full details to this routine for this workout, to the app if you want to use the workout there, to any of the other things and the resources I mentioned in this video, it will be linked in the description down below. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of this week for the another 6 videos in this series. And you can do that by hitting that subscribe button as well, joining the Bodyweight Warrior tribe. Other than that, as I've said, hit that thumbs up button, support the channel, support the YouTube algorithm. If you have any questions about today's workout, want to leave a suggestion, leave a comment in the comment section down below. But that's basically been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week and peace.